Welcome to the Phil and Leroy the Judgmental Podcast. I'm Leroy. No Philip this week, so let's get to it. The Falcons beat the Eagles 22-21. Some quick stats. On the Falcons side, we have Kirk Cousins 20 for 29, 241 yards, two touchdowns. Rushing, we have Bijan Robinson with 14 carries, 97 yards. Algier had 9 carries for 53 yards. On the receiving side, we have Mooney 3 receptions, 88 yards, 1 touchdown. And London had 6 receptions, 54 yards with 1 touchdown. On the Eagles side, we have Jalen Hurts 23 for 30, 183 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Rushing, we have Saquon Barkley, 22 carries, 95 yards. And we have Jalen Hurts with 13 carries for 85 yards and that 1 touchdown. On the receiving side, we have Devontae Smith, 7 receptions, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. Dallas Goedert, 3 receptions, 38 yards. Britland Covey had 6 receptions, 23 yards. I don't know why he got all these receptions this week, Covey. But who's to blame for this? I'm going to go with Nick Sirianni because Fangio was supposed to be this old school coach. Fangio is 66 years old, so he's supposed to be this old school coach that's supposed to be bringing that back to old school defense. And lo and behold, it's the same stuff from last year. The bend but don't break stuff. It's that analytical stuff where these guys here, they want to get analytical and technical. They just don't know that it's not really all that difficult. Sometimes it just takes common sense to do things. There's no defense. There's no type of pass rush. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the edge rushers don't even have a sack this year. Let me see for a second. Yeah, due to 2 games, the Eagles' edge rushers have 0 sacks and 1 tackle for loss. That's ridiculous. Bryce Huff is making $17 million a year, but we can't keep Hassan Reddick. I don't get it. This is all Nick Sirianni. First of all, the fourth down in the first drive should have gave them 3 points. Instead, they went for it on 4th down. No. You don't leave points on the table. You take the points. If they would have took the points, the Eagles would have won. They would have still won. So this is an absolute mess. Definitely Sirianni's on his last legs here. I just don't know. It was just offensively, the should have ran the ball a little bit more. And with running backs, I'm not talking about with Jalen Hurts running, because if you look on paper, they did well running the football. But on some instances, they should have ran the football. Like, okay, they're blaming Saquon Barkley because he dropped the football on that 3rd down. What was it, 3rd and 3? Why not hand it off to him to see if he can get those 3 yards? I'm confused. This is what he's here for, right? This is just an absolute mess. It's the same stuff from last year. The debacle from last year is continuing now, and it was supposed to be different since we have new offense and defensive coordinators. Speaking of defense, this bend but don't break scheme they have going on here, it's got to go. I would like to see them play actual defense. You got these guys here. Again, Huff is making $17 million. Let them play defense. That's what they're here for. I don't like this. Let them get up close, and then we'll play defense in the red zone and try to stop the team from scoring. No. Play defense all the way through. But I don't think anything's going to change here. That's what we see now. That's what we're going to get. All right, let's take a little clip here. We got Mike Florio and Devin McCourty from NFL on NBC. They're asked, are the Eagles being coached to their full potential? We already know the answer, but here they go.
It's a shame if Philadelphia was on that sideline, not preparing. All right, if we pick up this first down, game's over. If we don't pick up this first down, this is what we need to do as a defense. These are going to be our top calls when we go back out there on 2 minute. Hey, this is what we can't give up.
They did do that. It's that bend but don't break stuff. I think that all this, what he said, was already being talked about.
Because you're right. I'm not sure they did that on the sideline.
They did.
Because for Quinyon Mitchell, a young rookie to be in the NFL, he needs that. He hasn't been in many 2-minute situations. He hasn't been in any 2-minute situations in the NFL. And then he comes from Toledo, a smaller school. He needed someone to really tell him to go back and focus on what's necessary and what he has to do. And I don't think they were doing that. And that hurt them in that moment, because it's what we continue to talk about with Philadelphia. Is this team being coached to the best of his ability? Are they getting everything out of it? And those questions will keep coming up, especially after a game like last night when, like you said, Florio, they had the game won. All they did was to help lose the game and help Atlanta win.
And you make an excellent point that takes me to an issue that every team will deal with in its own way. Where's the coordinator during the game? You mentioned Matt Patricia on the sideline, able to gather the defense together and deliver that message. Vic Fangio, one of the coordinators that chooses to be up in the booth. You get a better look at the field. You see what's happening. You see it all develop. But
it's because he's up in the booth because Nick is the one calling the shots.
If he's going to be up there, he needs some.
There's no way. Did the Miami Dolphins, I think Fangio was the coordinator for Miami Dolphins. Was he the Dolphins coordinator last year or was the year before? I'm not sure. But anyway, wherever he was the coordinator, did they do this bend but don't break style? No. Which the Eagles did the bend but don't break style last year. So it's only one person there that was here last year, and that was Nick. It wasn't the coordinators.
Somebody down there. And this is game 2 of the new defensive approach. Game 2 didn't go very well at the end. Who was down there telling Quinyon Mitchell?
The coach.
Didn't Toledo anymore, right? No. We didn't win yet. We got to be. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to play this. If for some reason we go for it on 4th down and the Falcons start inside their own 10 and we're defending against a field goal that sends it to overtime or a touchdown that would beat us versus we're up 6 and a touchdown with an extra point beats us. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do it. I just feel like they went out there with one plan and one plan only. Don't get beat deep for a touchdown, which actually would have been better. Grand scheme of things, get beat deep for a touchdown on the first play of the drive, because then you got more time to work your way down the field and try to win it. But I felt like they were very, very, very conservative. 4-man rush, guys back deep.
Same as last year.
Not protecting what they should have been protecting on the sidelines and not putting pressure on Kirk Cousins. Because I know from 6 years of the Kirk Cousins experience. You get pressure in his face, and it's done. He can't do anything. You don't do a 4-man rush in a moment like that. You get somebody after him.
Same as last year.
And that's the thing. Like, Vic Fangio is known not to really focus on dialing up pressure. It's really predicated on having a good pass rush. And again, we're making a big situation out of Hassan Reddick on the Jets right now in their situation. The Philadelphia Eagles decided, hey.
He's still holding out, correct? If I'm not mistaken, I think he's still holding out. Or is he, did he go back to the team? I'm not really sure.
We're not.
They'll probably get into it.
Going to pay Hassan Reddick. We're going to move on. We're going to get Bryce Huff. And they're still looking for Bryce Huff to make that impact play, to show up in these moments. This is why you pay a premier pass rusher in the NFL, is because your defensive scheme is predicated on 2 safeties staying high, being able to see the field, make the team throw checkdowns, and make them do the easy thing and get small yardage. But the rush has to get there. When the rush doesn't get there, especially against the good quarterbacks in this league, the quarterbacks who have no problem in a 2-minute drill, sitting in there, reading the coverage, throwing a ball in a tight window like Kirk Cousins has shown the ability to do, you need that to show up. And right now, when you watch the Philadelphia Eagles, it feels like on the front 4, if it's not Jalen Carter getting pressure, you don't see them make any plays. And you can see right there, the closest guy there was Jalen Carter. He's the one guy, but as an offense, you're just.
And they benched him in the first half, or was it the first quarter, for disciplinary reasons? I don't know what the reasons are, but he didn't play in I want to say the first half. maybe, or was it the first quarter? I'm not really sure.
Just going to say, hey, just don't get bull rush in the middle. Give the quarterback some time. But you can see it, like all these passes, the DB's like 5 yards off. You can't operate like that. You can't miss tackles. Let them out of bounds. It was just,
Yeah, coach.
to me, it was a very well executed drive by Atlanta. And we said it last Sunday night watching the Cowboys. This 2-minute drill looks like a scout team 2-minute drill. It looks like the end of practice on a Friday where we said, hey, we're going to run through our 2-minute one more time. Scout team, stay back. Don't touch the receivers. We just want to feel good about going in to the game on Monday night for our 2-minute drill. And that's what it looked like. Hey, we're going to be there. We're going to tag the hip in practice. We're going to show that we might have been. That's what it looked like. And that's embarrassing as a defense. You know, like those are the moments you want. And
I wish I had told Phil last night that I wish that I had press passes so I can ask Nick Sirianni these same questions that he's talking about. Why is the defensive backs playing so far back? It's almost like you sitting there. It's like you wanted them to win. Wanted the Falcons to win, you know.
Think about C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You talk about it. That stop, helmet off, tongue out, Philadelphia fans going crazy. Can you imagine what the Philadelphia fans were saying walking out of that game thinking they won the game with under 2 minutes left? I mean, incredible before Atlanta, but I think that really will sting the Philadelphia Eagles, especially because we haven't even talked about, hey, we got the ball to your best player on third down, and he falls short and he doesn't catch it. And then, you know, if you saw
He's a running back. He could have ran it.
Coach Dungy stayed up late night tweeting, hey, I like the thought of giving it to your best player, but why not just let him run for the first down?
Like I just said, stop making it difficult. Simplify everything. 3rd and 3, you have one of the best running backs in the league. Why don't you just let him run it? He had a good game, rushing wise. Why don't you just let him run for the 3 yards and see if he can get it? Stop trying to make everything so hard and difficult.
So if you don't get it, the clock just continues to tick, tick, tick.
Exactly. I said it to somebody today that, okay, let's just say if he didn't make it and it's a 4th and 1, look at the time that ran down. Now, they either could have went for it on 4th down with the tush push, or they could have just kicked the field goal. It would have had less time for Kirk Cousins to move down the field.
Hi, it's Mike.
That's it with them. Mike Florio, and Devin McCourtney from NFL on NBC. Well, the only positive spot about this is the Cowboys, the Lions, and we really don't have to worry about the 49ers no more because Debo and McCaffrey is out. So we don't have to worry about them. But the Cowboys and the Lions lost, so that's the only positive spot for Eagles, especially that the Cowboys didn't get that 2-0 start on the Eagles. So next week the Eagles are playing the New Orleans Saints at the Superdome. The Saints are a 2.5 favorites, and I have no hopes for if the Eagles defensively played like they played. Well, they didn't really play well the first game against the Packers, but I gave them a little pass because the field was a mess. So I'm thinking like, you know, they was worried about slipping and all that stuff. Well, we see that this defense isn't really that good at all, and I have no hopes for them because the Saints really look like they can be contenders. So we'll see. I have no hopes. So, all right, y'all. Thanks for listening to us. You can reach the Judgementals on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube at pnljudgementals, Instagram at the_judgementals, and you can email us at pnljudgementals@gmail.com. All right, everybody. Thanks.
Fly, fly.